How about that, Jazz? Is the girl on time or what? Throw a party. Hi, everyone. Terry Harden, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer here. Uh, Jim Henson puppeteer, Muppeteer, actually. I guess that's that is what we call ourselves. International trademarked artist and speaker all over the world. I do all kinds of cool stuff. So here I am today, and hi to you. It's Monday. It's a beautiful day outside. The sun is shining. I am told there might be little fits and starts of rain showers yesterday. Luckily, it worked around me, so that's good. But I thought today I would ask you how your weekend was. Did you see? Many of you were at Disneyland and got a Bob Iger sighting at Candlelight. And some of you did other stuff. Perhaps you went to see Pinocchio. I hope you did. I did. It's only fair that I lead from the front. So I took my husband to a theater near me and we sat and saw Pinocchio. And it was just, my husband really enjoyed it. So I really enjoyed it as well. We really enjoyed it. It was a happy hallelujah day for that. And we also got to see Wakanda Forever. My husband and I are members of a couple of guilds. My husband with the Art Directors Guild, which is a part of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. And then there's me, who is a screen actor. So I am a member of the Screen Actors Guild. And as you know, there is a Screen Actors Guild Award and there is an Academy Award. So as a result, we get screeners either mailed to us or we get a link so we can watch them. We can stream them. Also, we'll get invitations to see things live. And this was the case with Wakanda Forever, where we got to meet these folks. Here it is, the Variety Artisan Screening Series 2022-2023. And it involved the people about, look at that, it's trying to do something. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. It involved no actors at this screening, but it involved the interviewer is from Variety. And then next to the interviewer, that's the lady holding the card. Next to it is Ryan, the director. Ryan seemed to be someone who didn't necessarily interview that well. I think being on stage, they were all very tired because this is considered the circuit, guys, meaning this is when people have to go around and promote the film if they want attention from their peers and professionals. And for Screen Actors and Academy Awards, this is just the smart way to market, is do it live. So Ryan was there, and Ludwig, who is the one in the crazy outfit, that's Ludwig. He's a composer, and he talked about some really cool things about composing the film, which I will talk about. Lovely. Next to him is the cinematographer. She's quite fabulous, and her name is Autumn. Autumn, the cinematographer. Then you have writers Nate and Joe. So Joe is this man right here. That's Joe. And this is Nate. So Nate, Joe, Autumn, the cinematographer. Next to Autumn, Ludwig in his crazy outfit. And then Ryan, the director. Everyone said that Ryan was an amazing director to work with, that you felt like a family, like you enjoyed collaboration. And everyone said that he let you know it's really nice to be on a project where you can spread your wings. In fact, Autumn, the cinematographer, said that it was the most diverse group of people, writers, gaffers, light people, everybody on the set that she had ever seen. And it was really an honor to work in this film and in this movie. And that was very, very, very exciting. At first, I wasn't gonna go. It's at a theater called the Harmony Gold, which is really has crappy parking, but they've done up their parking, and so parking wasn't so bad. A little difficult to get out, but okay, that's fine. I just don't like to drive all over town trying to find parking, and street parking in Hollywood, I would rather not do. So I was very happy to see Harmony Gold has rectified that, and it was a nice gathering of people. I find that when the actors aren't present, I was hoping Angela could make it, but she was busy with her fellow actors talking about the film. So I might get to see them speak later. But it was great to speak to these people because they talked about the fact that one of the biggest challenges for the director and the producers was whether or not to do it after the death of Chadwick, the lead character, right? Um, they didn't know if it was appropriate. He was in um and forgive me if I've said the name wrong. It's Monday, and so correct me and I'll say it right. But you know who I mean, the Black Panther. So when he passed away, they spoke about losing a part, like losing a limb. It was so painful for them. And Chad Win, right? Anyway, they were talking about the pain that they were all feeling because he was their friend and he was very collaborative and he was very supportive and he was very outgoing and he was very he didn't just come on set and play the Black Panther. He was very involved on many levels, as many of the actors are and were, and many of the, like the director Ryan and the composer. The composer talks about the character that has the wings on his heels. I didn't understand that character. And so I have learned with Marvel, since I'm not a Marvelite, to suspend belief. Okay. I don't make fun of the characters. I try not to do it while seeing the movie. I just kind of suspend my belief. And then afterwards, I ask my husband, who seems to know about some, he doesn't know about all the characters, but I ask him, and then he can kind of fill me in on why this character exists, who is this character, and what the hey. So I did that. I just suspended my belief and watched the movie silently. And anything I didn't understand, I took a mental note to see and experience. But it was for me, it was an amazing film. And for me, I loved all the strong women. So for me, it's just so nice to see just woman after woman after woman, and everyone is very strong. And some sort of doubt their strength, but others don't. It was cool. It had a lot of cool elements to it. I will tell you, because I am a artist and creator, that I was distracted by how amazing Angela looked. Angela Bassett as the queen. Oh my goodness. Love on her. Not only did I think she was an amazing woman as a human being, but she must have just been the same, just collaborative, open, kind, supportive to all the other people on the set. They all had nothing but wonderful things to say about her. Talked about a pivotal scene that she had to do, and when Nate had to talk to her about it, how they discussed it and how she believed it was the right direction to go. um but rough, but her outfits are amazing. The first one, the second one, the third one, oh, they're just so stunning. And I'm hoping that I will get later on a chance to see this at the Academy, and they will also display the costumes, because I would love to see their outfits up close. I could not get over the Queen's costuming, every single one more breathtaking than the next. And I just was like, wow, 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 wow. And then there's that, there's these wonderful sort of scientist slash warrior women. So you have the one that's like the knives, and she was just so beautiful. The screen sort of stopped on her. I don't know how you could not stop on her. She was just lovely, and she used these knives, and she had this beautiful killer smile, and she was just amazing. But I think it was her that came in an outfit that looked like it was all knotted in a tan color, and I just went crazy for that. I'm gonna Google that outfit because I couldn't believe that outfit. I thought that was one of the most stunning outfits I'd ever seen on anybody, and she wore it so well. Just fascinating. Besides the movie and the writing, which the writers said that was a big battle, is to figure out how to do a second film without their major star, and how they would make it believable and how they would make it authentic. It was very important to each and every one of them in this picture here to make it authentic. They really loved the movie, they loved each other, and they cared about the stories. So it's really exciting to hear what they had to say. Now, these two here needed to make it authentic in the case. So you're looking at Ryan and you're looking at Ludwig. Ludwig is the composer, and Ludwig said there is no actual documentation of Mayan music. So what they had to do was they went to locations where Mayan instruments, musical instruments, had been found, and then they looked at the wear around. Let's say maybe they found a Mayan flute, and they looked at the wear of the holes that when you're playing the flute to see where it had worn more, showing that the finger was used to make that note more. And that's how they started out. And it was very interesting to see how they began to then develop music based on these uh, instruments that they found from digs. You know, they didn't dig, but the ones that people, archaeologists, brought up. So it was wonderful to hear that kind of information and to hear how much they dug into the history and made that music. And I thought the music was really good. I love the soundtrack. I thought the soundtrack was great. And surprising to me how great it was, and how important it was. And um my husband had different feelings about the movie, but then again, understand he knows Marvel. Even if he only knows Marvel maybe less than you, who maybe eat, drink, and sleep it, but more than me because I don't look at it. I really don't. Um, that I was really impressed with a lot that I saw in this film. I actually reacted to the emotion in it. And I was really grateful for the emotion in it so that I could actually feel it, because I'm all about feeling a movie. You got to make me feel sad or make me feel happy or make me feel joy or make me laugh. That's what I think a movie's obligation is to do, is to make me feel the story you're trying to tell. So I'm always grateful when you do that. So that was my weekend. Um, yeah, went and saw Pinocchio, like I said, took my husband to see it. He really enjoyed it. You got to see it in the theaters because there's so much to see. Unless you have a football, huge, giant screen in your basement, which I know some of you do, then you're going to want to see it on the big screen because there's so much to intake, and you won't see it on a 50-inch screen or a 60-inch screen. You got to have something like 100 and something. So why not go to the movie theater? What I'm finding out is it's starting to get taken out of theaters, so it may be challenging for you, but if you can do it, please do it, because you will be glad that you did. And then let's talk about it, because it is an amazing, fun, wonderful film. I talked with the tribe today about candlelight. Did you guys go to Disneyland? So what am I talking about? Terry's Tribe. You knew I was going to tell you about this. Patreon.com/Terry Harden. Come be a part of it. Your voice needs to be heard. A lot of wonderful people. I do a Zoom call usually every Wednesday morning or afternoon. And tonight it's going to be at 6:30, a Zoom call that I do only with the tribe. And then the tribe shares with me things like Candlelight, where they saw Bob Iger, and some told me they got to speak with him or at least say hello, welcome back, well wish. He was cheered. That sounded lovely to me. Found out that Viola Davis is the one who did I found that pain during my broadcast today, which I do a broadcast with the tribe every Monday and Friday just before I come and talk to you. So just give me a minute. I got to nail this guy. You're always going to get the truth from me, guys. And This really has been hurting me, so I gotta see if I can get him to stop hurting me. I think I got him. If he hurts me again, I'll know I didn't, right? Hangnail. The thing with beautiful rainy weather and cold weather is that it can be very dry weather here in California and probably across the globe. And these little things zing up on me, and it's like yowie. So I had to get rid of the yowie. So thank you. Patreon.com is Terry's Tribe, $5 a month, and you get to be a part of a beautiful eclectic group. We do all kinds of things and talk all the time. And tonight we will talk on Zoom about a plethora of things, including how happy we are about the holidays. And they will share with me about candlelight or with whatever they feel like sharing. And then I'll share whatever I, have to share, things like Wakanda, which, like I said, happy, sad, some lovely effects, some beautiful. It was cool. It was cool. My favorite sequence was seeing 5, 6 women jump over the edge of a giant ship, holding on ropes, and it's all together, synchronized. I don't know why. I could have played that a million times. It just is cool to me. I just love that. Just that all together, that moment, and just it's killer cool. It's killer cool. Not so sure I like the blue outfit, which looked a lot to me like the fish guy from it looked a little bit too much to me like the fish guy that Doug Jones plays in Guillermo del Toro's oh yeah, the one that I'm not a fan of, the big red guy with the big fish. Anyway, um you can tell that I had Baby the Big Gun. My husband loves that one, and me, it was like, but I love the fish guy because it's Doug, who's a friend of mine, Doug Jones. So I watched it for him. If you're in a movie, it doesn't mean that I have to love the movie. I just want to see you in it, and it makes it fun for me to see it, even if the movie is terrible. I'll go, oh, there's my friend, and look at how good they're doing, So although it's a Hellboy, there you go. Woo, remembered it. Hellboy, which is not my cup of tea, just really didn't like the movies at all, 1 and 2. They're not my favorite Guillermo del Toro movies, but Doug Jones plays the fish guy, and he's brilliant. So I love watching him do his thing. Very much like watching Guardians of the Galaxy, and watching Rocket do his thing. Even if it's him, arguing with a dog that can talk. I don't care. As long as Rocket is speaking or doing something, I'm always attentive. So I will always go see Guardians of the Galaxy as long as you include Rocket. You don't want me to watch it, get rid of Rocket, because I'm a big fan of Rocket. I just think Rocket is great. Name my dog after him, by the way. So so there you go. So consider this, guys. $5 a month. You can pay $5 for a month. If you don't like it, the next month you can take your foot out like the hokey pokey, put your right foot in, see if you like it, take your right foot out if it's not for you. But I think you're really going to enjoy it, especially if you're someone who has a big heart and you want to get some help with, maybe you're an artist and you want to figure out how to do some, make a living at your career, or maybe you're just someone who's really passionate about what you're doing. That's an artist, and you want to share that with us. We do that, and then just have the chance to be super, super frank because it's behind a closed door. So if you're interested, I would love for you to join us. Okay, enough of that. Let's talk to you. Good morning, Leo. See, you popped right up here. Leo, it's great. Ryan Coogler, yes. An Oakland director, yes. I'm not sure about some of the other things he did, but he was very sweet. They all seemed tired, okay. But everyone said Ryan is a really lovely person to work with, every single one. And I don't think it was because he was sitting there. I think they all truly believe that he was about inspiring everybody to come together and make a really good movie as opposed to cracking a whip. That's nice to know in Hollywood. That's really cool. They're an Oakland native is what you were going to say. Yay. Angie, how are you, my dear? Good to hear from you. Michelle is on this side of the fence. Good morning. Angie says, was this a special event you were invited to? Missed that answer. I was a little late. Yes. We get to go to screenings and are invited to places where actors and actors talk. Sometimes it's open, but a lot of times it's too. So just for example, let me just, for the fun of it, pull up my email real quick. and see if there is another SAG, because I'm telling you, the SAG screenings are they're coming. Christmas is a really good time. A really good Oh, yay. Okay, good. Sorry. A really good time for these to pop up. So let me just see if there's any that are gonna pop up. I'm waiting for something with bated breath, I have to tell you, from Amazon, and I check every day wanting it to come to my home. I don't know if it will, but I'm hopeful. I'm just looking to see if there's any SAG screenings. Oh, I got somebody writing to me. Okay, let me just look. I'm looking. I got so many emails. It's nuts. No, get away. No, get away. And then I have Scientology after me, if you can believe that. Yeah, no comment. All right, I don't see anything. So the next thing I do is simply in search, write SAG, and then they all pop up if there's something. So here is the staircase. I don't know what that is. And it's talking about you can have a Q&A with, let's see, showrunner, creator, director, showrunner, Antonio Campos, and it's Thursday the 8th. And that's when is HBO Max is putting that one on. And then let's see what else we've got. Mary Steenburgen in a movie called The Sun with Laura Dern and Florian Zeller for a special screening of The Sun, which was yesterday, so I missed that. And then we had Bill Nye invite you to Ryan White, Doug Ellison, Jennifer Trospin, Abigail Freeman for Good Night OPPY. That was Sunday also. So they really push for the weekends if they can do it. And so you only have one body and one spirit. So you can imagine if you are a SAG nomination committee member, you're busy. One time as a SAG nomination committee member, I saw over 700 films in 4 months. And that was me trying to do like 4 movies on Saturday, 4 movies on Sunday, and then 1 or 2 if I could swing it through the week. Because as a nomination committee, you don't want anyone not to get seen by you, so that when you make your recommendation, you can have a well-rounded recommendation as possible. Does this look familiar to you? As a judge, I do the same thing. I want to make sure that the rules are followed to the letter as best possible, because it would be a shame if you had this lovely little film and it got overlooked because I was lazy in my work. So whenever I'm a SAG nomination committee member, I'm very, very diligent, and I watch tons. In fact, a lot of times when they used to send them to us in VHS, yes, VHS and DVDs, and there was no streaming. I got boxes. And so I would pack the boxes in my car, grab my husband, and we would take a long weekend by the beach and just pop popcorn, look out at the ocean, and watch movie after movie after movie after movie. And this was because I wanted to. And sometimes I can't sit through them. They're hard for me. Like, I don't know if you remember this movie called Quills about the Marquis de Sade. Oh, couldn't watch it. Couldn't watch it. Too hard for me. So knew I wasn't going to be voting anything positive about that movie because it just wasn't my cup of tea. So there are times I go, no. But as much as I can, we'll try to go see them. And if we can't, then of course we get to stream them. And of course we get screeners sent to us. So this is the movie watching months, as people like this group right here have to do a circuit. They have to go from place to place to place to place to talk to you and tell you, because it inspires you to vote. They're looking at Screen Actors, they're looking at Academy people, they're looking at everybody who has a vote to let them see why they should vote for this movie, to kind of give you the insight into why this movie deserves an Academy or a Screen Actors Guild or a nomination, right? It's fun. Yeah, it's really fun. Let's see. His first film of notice was Fruitvale, Garrett movie about a fatal BART station shooting. And it's called Fruitvale? Wow, Leo. Wow. Could you send me a link to that or just like text me that so that I can watch that? I would like to see it. I thought Nate did a great job. I think they all did. He said the reason the movie came off as well as it did was the collaboration of everybody. And I could see it, because we call that Imagineering. We do. That's what we call it. Joe says, "Good morning, Terry. How many actors have played Superman, Batman, Spider-Man? All of a sudden, one beloved actor, Chadwick Boseman, dies, and they don't want to cast another actor in the role. I can understand the impulse and respect his memory, but not recasting right away. But eventually they need to if they want to continue to use Black Panther character." Of course they will. I think they will, Joe. I think they will. I just think this particular movie was different from a lot of these other ones you speak of. Okay. This movie was more than just people going on a set and making a movie. They were creating an actual emotional connection to each and every one of them, and you could see it on the stage. So I think they just wanted to tell the story the best they could. And my husband kind of feels like having the scientist be the new Black Panther, he felt wasn't really working. Not because she was female, but he wondered where she got her training. It was kind of like asking Q to jump in and be James Bond. He felt there was a disconnect there. I don't know. I didn't feel that way. I thought she did well, but I did have to ask when my husband brought that up. I did have to ask the question of how did she learn? Was she testing? Because one of the things that Wakanda Forever and a lot of these films that have CG involved in them, thank you, Joe, that have involved in their uh, uh, films is no gizmology. So there's a sequence where we meet this young genius designer, creator, builder who's still in high school, yet we don't get to see her build. Now, what's interesting is all of that is cut from the film, and yet we watched a preview where all of that is in the previews. So you feel a little bit robbed because you don't get to see the process. And we don't have to see the whole process like in Iron Man, but we love the whole process in the original Iron Man. The robot who kept making mistakes, things that went wrong, things that went right, the testing, the hand stuff, the face stuff. If you don't get to see how things come together, what little cool gadgets you have, we miss something. We don't feel attached to the film. And I really didn't notice that before, but I have to agree. I am a gizmology person, and I love to see how what makes her such a genius. I would love to watch her. This bit with the little bubbles turning red and green just wasn't enough for me to attach this brilliant scientist. I thought she did better in the first Black Panther movie. That was kind of exciting to watch her actually do a little gizmology to show how it worked. And so those are things I like to see. And I like to, I illustrate my genius by check this out. In James Bond, you always liked Q showing 007 his latest gadgets he could use. It was always fun. It was always cool. It was always special. So that was my sort of empty feeling with Wakanda Forever. I felt like there should be more of that. Let me just not leave my heating pad for my tea on. That was what was missing for me. I loved how my theater was silent at the beginning during the tribute for Chadwick. Also, says Evan, Angela needs to be nominated for something, but my favorite thing was number one on the call sheet. But my favorite thing was there was no number one on the call sheet. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's done some great work. She's done some beautiful work. This movie, I wouldn't say she's got some stiff competition. But man, just was a fun movie to watch, and she was very fun to watch. very enchanting to watch. But I'll tell you, I had really a hard time with the demotion of the main officer. I just love that woman. I just love her strength. I just love her devotion. I love her love for Wakanda. I love her undying strength. I just love that character. That character is a big means a lot to me, and she's very very special. And my heart broke when she became a civilian. It was hard because I love that was I felt it. I felt it, and I liked feeling it, and I love her. So um I'm a unicorn, and I have to admit it, solemnly swear, I'm not going to react like a lot of people do. I just have to get used to that. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But I'll go crazy for films that a lot of people don't like, and I won't like a lot of films that people are crazy for. So it's just the way it is, which that makes our cloth so beautiful, because we're all different people. So I love that. And yeah. Uh Fruitvale Station 2013. Excellent film. So Joe says, you two are the best. You know that? Fruitvale Station. Okay, Leo. And okay, Joe. Leo, I bet you Leo's going, okay, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent film. I'm gonna check it out because I love to see other people's body of work. So thank you to you both, Joe Penny and Leo Holzer. Thank you very much. I understand recasting Superman and Spider-Man and Batman because they are telling different stories in different universes. I don't think they will recast Black Panther in this current universe of storytelling Marvel is in now. Well, they have. It's her. It's our princess. She is the new Black Panther. And that's interesting. Um, we'll see how that goes. Let's just see how that goes. I thought she was a good fighter. I didn't mind seeing her as the Black Panther. It was kind of a cool transition. Um, let's see how she does. Let's see. I mean, my husband says that in comic books, people switch the genders of these characters quite frequently. Is that true, all of you Marvelites out there? So I didn't see anything wrong with it. I didn't see anything. I thought it was a good transition. I'm not so sure how Wakanda is going to take the fact that she didn't show up at the indoctrination ceremony that she was supposed to be at. But that's all things they got to work with. So we'll see. But very, very interesting. Hello, Crumpet Puppet Troop. How are you? Evan Hunter in the current one, perhaps not, but eventually they need to, unless the plan is to bury the character altogether, which would be a travesty. I agree with you, Joe, and I don't think they're going to do that. No, in fact, I think we got a teaser, didn't we, on who Black Panther male is going to be, didn't we? Yeah, we did. At the end, we saw the new Black Panther, actually, with his cute little dimples and his smiling set of teeth, didn't we? That little darling little cutie pie. I think he's the next one. Actually, I think they actually set it up, so you guys are safe. Black Panther will return. It's just going to be this kid. So, well, he won't be a kid. He'll be a young man, and then he'll be the Black Panther, because that's the law, right? It's the male children. So we ask ourselves, how long will the princess be the official Black Panther now that we know there's another prince, right? Yes. Yes. So intriguing. Yes, very intriguing. Did you stay for the mid-credit scene? Because there is one. There is no post-credit scene. Thank you for telling me that, Adam, because this group of people that I showed you, they cut the credits off. I was so upset. And we both felt like maybe there was an end one, but we did see the mid one, and that's what I'm talking about, Adam. I'm thinking there's your next Black Panther. Would you agree? It doesn't serve a proper epilogue to the story. This middle one was perfect. It was perfect. I mean, could you not draw the line to the Panther? The main thing I did is what happens to the princess as the Black Panther, because Wakanda makes it clear it's the male children that are the Black Panthers, the protector of Wakanda. So now that we know there's another prince in the lineup, how long? Till he's of age? And then what happens? Do you battle like they challenged each other for the Black Panther in the first one. So, I don't know. I'm intrigued, happily intrigued to see what happens. Chris Hemsworth loves that word, plethora. Plethora. Yes, I like plethora too. Me too. Watch the mid-credit scene of the movie in contrast and without spoiling things. We shouldn't worry too much about recasting necessarily at all. No, I think, yeah, the princess has a lot to be concerned about. But other than that, yeah. Maybe they're making it where Black Panther isn't a character, but the title will be passed down. Well, Evan, it was. The Black Panther always was the next male authority, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah, it's taken care of. Joe says, Adam Robertson will do. He says, I will do that. Yes, exactly. Trust me, Marvel always has a plan without harming the legacy characters. Black Panther is a legacy character. I agree. And I don't think it's harmed at all. But I do think it was nice to be cognizant and aware of how to make the second one because it is so raw. The wound is still raw. So I think they handled it very well, in my personal opinion. Well, it always was. The opening scene of the first film made it clear his father was a Black Panther before him. Bam! Ding! As I like to say, Joe. Ding! Continue, Joe. And the title role was held by previous Wakandan knights in early areas. Ding and ding. Yes. Basically, whoever is the king of Wakanda is the Black Panther. Usually. Ding, ding, and ding. So now we have a new prince in the mix. So what happens to the current Black Panther is what I think is the question. And if you watch that middle scene in the credits, even the way it's performed makes me think she's wondering, what's my future? So it's cool. It's very cool. Also, Terry, did you see the Guardians of I did. What did you think? The Guardians Volume 3. I haven't seen the trailer for Guardians 3. My husband says it's a mess. I haven't seen it yet. But the holiday special was a little silly. I had some problems with it. Not enough rocket for one thing, but I did enjoy it overall, and I love I thought the third act was the best. So a lot of times the first and second act are the best parts of these. And to me, the first and the second act were weak, but the third act really brought it home. I thought that was kind of charming and adorable. And so yeah, I'll give it, gosh, out of 5 stars, I'd probably give it about a 3.5. But you put more rocket in it, I'll be biased. Tom Cruise laugh. You have been in entertainment for long when the Scientology starts reaching out. Yeah, it's so true. And have you ever watched the show? What was it? A&E with Remini? Oh my goodness. She talks about some things that they do. And I knew that Lee was a little biased because she was an advocate for Scientology. I mean, she was a die-in-the-wool champion for Scientology. And then all of a sudden it went south, which it can often do. I don't want to talk about it too much. But one of the things she says is that they target you if you're a celebrity of sorts. And all of a sudden, I'm with the Chamber of Commerce, and I feel that this particular lady is targeting me. And it's always, come see our stand-up comedy, come see our play, come see our talk on, it just, no, I'm not going in. Thank you, but no, that's my opinion and my decision. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Back to the movies. Bill I invited you to something. Yes, it was the thing called, and I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what it was, but look up his latest deal and then maybe you can explain it to me because I didn't understand it, but it was yesterday when we were going to see Pinocchio. So, the science guy, man, you have the connections. Yeah, it was spelled like this, guys. So I don't know what his involvement is, Angie, but and I didn't understand what it was. So, but it was yesterday, so we missed it because we were seeing Pinocchio. All I'm saying is Tom Cruise knocks on your door, run. Yeah, he's gonna tell me he's my close personal friend, and I'm gonna be like, "What?" You know, exactly. How do you keep track of so many movies? Do you keep notes? Yes, Angie, I do. I put them if it in the old days, we got boxes and boxes of DVDs and VHS, and I would put the ones I loved in a box, and I'd put the ones I didn't in another box. And nowadays, I do the same with the lists. I list from my the one that moves me the most to the ones that, and then I list them in the categories. So for the Screen Actors Guild, we have Best Actress, Best Actor, Supporting Actress, Supporting Actor, and it's always some female supporting actor now because they think actress is not kind to women. I say you're kind of splitting hairs to me. So you guys understand what I mean. I don't find the words. My dad said poison isn't effective unless you take it, and I don't find that to be poison. But anyway, supporting actors and actresses, leading actors and actresses, best ensemble. As opposed to saying best picture, we do best ensemble in a motion picture. We also do in television and a series. And we also do best stunt performances, which I love because sometimes when you see a movie, the stunts are so exciting and you want them to be acknowledged. I'll never forget, is it Casino Royale, where the runner, he was a championship runner, and the opening is Bond chasing him through hill and dales of, I guess it's like Africa or someplace. I don't know. But it's amazing. And I love it. I play that front scene. I'm not really interested in the whole movie, but I really love that front scene with the runner. And then some of the stunts that I see just blow me away. So I really love the performance by a stunt performers in a motion picture, television, or whatever. And so I categorize them like I have to vote, and then I can go. I'll tell you, I think it was last year or the year before, so hard because there were too many good people. Or I guess it was the year before, because for me, um, there was one movie I loved more than any of them, and I thought, wow, this is just a brilliant, brilliant movie. I love that movie, and I voted a lot for it. The one with the young girl who's hearing and she has deaf parents. So they have a hearing child, and all of a sudden she's torn between being helping her parents and her brother who cannot speak, translate between them and the speaking world, and then her desire to go on and do something for herself. Just love that movie. Cody, love that movie. Really was an advocate for it. When everybody was telling me that the what was it? The something of the dog, which was a dog of a movie. I hated that movie. And everybody said that was gonna the power of the dog. Ah! They kept telling me this was going to get the Academy Award, and I was like, no way in heck. My Academy will be true to me, and they won't give it to that movie. They will give it to a movie who deserves it. They will give it to Cody. And I had a lot of people tell me I was full of baloney, and guess which one? That's because I've been watching the Academy Awards since I was 3 years old. And I'm not really for it for the show and the hoopla. I want to know who's going to win, and I always pick who's going to win. And a lot of times I'm pretty good at it. Sometimes I'm not good at it. Sometimes it doesn't work the way I would like it to. It doesn't swing. The door doesn't swing the way I think it should. But a lot of times it does. And Cody really did last year and made me very, very happy. But a lot of times there are times when every actor is so good that I'm like, do I need a dartboard or what? Because they're so good, and everyone good in a different way. So this year, praying for Whale. Really can't wait until Whale either comes to me in the mail or an opportunity to go and see Brendan talk about it. I would kill for, but I'm with hundreds of thousands of other people that would feel the same. So I just have to be, please, please, please. I have to hope that I get a chance to see it, or at least hear it somewhere, because I'm so excited to see this movie with Brendan Fraser. I think he's really going to be a top contender for the Academy Award this year, and I wish him all the best. Screen Actors Guild. I want to see it. So, because if I love it, I am voting for it. I will be an advocate for it. You should get a letterboxed account to track your movies. Okay. I have one, and so far I've got over 1,500 theatrical films watched, but I'm still missing a bunch that I haven't remembered. I continually add to it. It's great. That sounds kind of fun. Yeah, that sounds fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be fun. For me, it changes every year. There's a movie that I loved when I was in the nomination committees from years ago called The Man in a Chair. It was done with a lot of older older actors that we all know and love, and a boy, and he's trying to do a movie, and they all help him because of their history. It's just a lovely film called The Man in the Chair. It's really good. Didn't get nominated and didn't win anything, but I love the movie. So this is what happens is you love a particular movie and sometimes it never gets noticed. And you also realized how many movies is made and how hard, how challenging it is to get Academy Award. It's not an easy thing, which is why all of these people and Wakanda did so well, but Wakanda still believes everyone, director, producer, writer, all of them believe that they need to get out in the circuit to heighten awareness about the film so that they can get nominated. And I think they deserve it. Adam says, I do have to laugh that people question um, Shuri's training, considering she fought Killmonger in the first film, and she also fought in the Avengers Endgame during the final battle. Yeah, but here's the thing. Some people don't watch those films. And so sometimes they wonder, see, I would like to see not so much the battling that she does, because I didn't worry about that too much, but the building, the gadgets. I like my husband's right. I love the gizmology. They call it what do they call it? Gear porn. The words just don't rest well on my lips for obvious reasons. So I like gizmology. I've always called it gizmology. I love a film that shows me things made, um, and just I think they should have restated that in Wakanda. They didn't have to do it much. She just needed to explain, or just I just think it would have been better if we could have seen a little about that, not just from her, but from the princess. Because in the first Wakanda, I loved watching the princess come up with cool stuff. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. So that's what I'm saying. Terry, I just sent you the link. Thank you. I got it. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. On Letterboxd, it included where you can watch it. It is on Hulu, among other services. Yes, and we've got a Hulu. We don't belong to Hulu, but we have, because we are seeing films and things Hulu made, we have a code. So that's how they usually do it when you're able to stream. They give you a code so you can be part of it for a certain amount of time. And then Netflix, gives you a free membership to Netflix for the time you're watching these films that you have to screen a lot of times when you're streaming. And if you're someone who has Netflix, they just pay for the bill. They just pay your bill for those 3 months because they're giving it to everybody. They want everybody on an equal playing field. And so if you're already a member, they can't give it to you for free because you're already a member, which is me. So they pay for it, which is nice. Very kind of them. And thank you for that, Joe. I did, and it's there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for the spoiler, Terry. I haven't seen it yet. Well, Joe, what's the matter with you? I'm just kidding. I don't mind. I haven't seen it yet, but kind of guessed what Adam said a moment ago. Yeah, and this movie has been out for a long time. When I see it, it's at the near the end. So I apologize, Joe, if I messed it up for you, because that's not my intention. I think Wakanda will have a good leadership who does rule over the country, likely M'Baku, while Shuri will be a good protector carrying on the title of her brother and her father. Yeah, I think we've got more to see there. Let me just say that. Lee Remini, yeah, former Scientologist and now anti-Scientologist advocate. It's just that a lot of people said a lot of the stuff she says is overblown and overrated. But I watched the show, and she did warn that if you are a celebrity of sorts, they will start to try and hook you to come in. And usually it has nothing to do with Scientology. So And what's interesting is it was the Chamber of Commerce. Okay, I'm a member of the Universal City North Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the board for that. Okay, and these women would only speak to me. They wouldn't speak to anyone else on the board to invite them to be a part of this, which Lee Remney said, be careful. And so I was. Very nice ladies, very supportive, very involved with our chamber. But man, she was right. She was right. They were looking to get their hooks into me. I could feel it. And now that they've sort of left the chamber, they're still trying to hook me. So it's interesting, a little chilling. Yeah, a little bit chilling. I'm just saying from my point of view. Okay. If you're a Scientologist out there, then your point of view is welcome. But I really felt like I was being catfished. Sorry, but I really did. Oh, Bill Nye, not Bill Nye, the British actor who played Davy Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Yeah, I think it's the NYE guy because this movie is very obscure. I've never heard of it. I mean, I can look. Maybe it's the pirate guy, but I don't think it's in my mail anymore. But I didn't see. This is a problem. Some of these people I don't know by name. I can look them up like you guys do, but I don't know them by name. So I'm like, I don't understand. But I like going to see a movie or looking at a movie that I've never heard of. Okay, I watched one called Armageddon Day or D or something, and I have no idea why that movie was made, other than someone needed to get something off their chest. Filmmaker needed to put it on film or digital or whatever. Just needed to get the story out because of personal things going on in his life. Other than that, I don't know why we even watch it. I didn't even understand why we were a part of it, because there were so many places we could go, and then they just died and got left and didn't happen. And I was like, wow, what? Why was this made? So I run into those too. By the way, Terry, met Kirk Thatcher at the LA Comic-Con yesterday at the Legion M booth. Lovely man, mentioned you and he got excited. He's a real doll, isn't he? He's the sweetest guy. But we were fans before we were big. Like you. We were fans. While I was standing in line for Star Wars for 3 days, he was standing in line in Century City for at least a couple. So kindred spirits before we were kindred spirits. So thank you for saying hi for me. John Milos was next to him. Oh, but you can tell he was struggling. Oh, I'm so sorry. I love John Milos. Yes, love to him. Yeah. Hugs and kisses. Oh, man, that's awesome. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Good night. That's it. That's the movie. The end of the Opportunity rover mission. Thank you, Lindsay. My husband is so good. So you see, it was NYE Bill Nye, not N whatever the other one was you said. That's the one. And that's the movie that I had zero idea what it was. So that I got invited to yesterday and couldn't go because we were seeing Pinocchio. And I was really hopped up to see Pinocchio for a second time. I really wanted to see Pinocchio. And I believe me, when it lands, when it hits the Netflix circuit, just put it on loop for me for a while, because I'm going to be watching that over and over and over again. There are things in it that just bring tears to my eyes. I love it so much. So right now, yeah, it's a front runner. I love that movie. But come on. I love stop motion animation and I love animation. So it's kind of have me at a low moment. So, you're making a movie for Terry. When you made Pinocchio, you made that for Terry. You could say, it said for, it's dedicated to people. You could have said in Terry Hardin, because Terry just goes crazy for stop motion films. I love them. So, yeah, thank you, honey. He's popping in on occasion. Isn't that fun? I find that really fun. Good night. Is it Opie? I want to say Opie, or is it Oppie? Anyway, Opportunity rover mission, the end of the Opportunity rover mission, which now I got to see because now we're talking space. You see? So I spent a lot of time under hot lights doing other things. So I don't know everything. And it's the Indy 5 trailer that's a mess. GOTG is decent. And it's the Indy 5 trailer that's a mess. GOTG is decent. See, even he uses those things. Joe, translate. Adam Robinson, John Milios was with Kirk. Oh, you lucky duck. I would have loved to meet both of them in person. Milios wrote Apocalypse Now. Yes, one of my all-time favorite films. Yeah, and Conan. I know Joe's saying, how can you put Apocalypse Now with Conan? But I can, and I did. Also, speaking of Pinocchio, I met Scott Grimes, who was the voice of Steve on The American Dad, and Gordon Malley on The Orville, and I immediately became friends with him because I recognized him from starring in an animated film called Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night. Good for you, Adam, because I will say one thing about you and Sydney is you made Evan feel so good as he named names and you all knew who they were. So I just love you for that. And that is because you are just amazing people and you're part of, wait a second. Whoops. Where am I now? You're all a part of Terry's Tribe. Okay, so just before we kick off, I do want to let you guys know I'm not leaving yet, but I want you to know that you want to be a part of Terry's Tribe. That's patreon.com/Terry Hardin. Go there, check it out, and join for $5 a month. Check us out, see if you love us, and we'd love to have you there. Your voice needs to be heard. It's great. And the people, a lot of the people that you see bouncing back and forth and explaining to you, Leo, Adam, etc., these are people who are part of the tribe. So very, very cool. And very cool to hear some of the things that you said. So that's just wonderful. And so here, let's see what we've got here. We've got Joe saying, at Angie Floyd, get a letterboxed account. It's great to track your movies. So this is what he's saying. Might take a peek at that. I'm a huge Apocalypse Now fan, and while I would have talked to him, he had a ton of struggles just sitting, signing, and speaking. So I just didn't want to bother him, especially since I know John Goodman's Big Lebowski character is based off of him and didn't want to tick him off. Adam, you're so thoughtful. Over the line. This is not Nam Smoky. This is bowling. There are rules. Cute. You guys are adorable. I recognize those lines. Hi, Terry, voice actor here and have followed you a bit. Love everything you do. Thank you, Kimberly. And congratulations. Consider joining Terry's tribe. Patreon.com/Terry Hardin. We got a lot of people in there that do voices and also want to know how to do voices and want to hear the pros and cons and behind closed doors and hear what you're doing so that they can, cheer you on in the movies that you voice for. So consider it. I think you would enjoy it. Audrey, how are you? My dad told me about the energy of the Phantom Menace premiere and said it was his favorite movie premiere. He thought he could get away with waiting for 3 hours and was very surprised. Yeah. No comment on Phantom Menace. I know that was his first, but yeah, for me, Star Wars was amazing. Empire Strikes Back, 3 days to see that movie. So yeah, and everybody's like, write a book. Well, I might just do that. So absolutely, I'm with your dad. If you love a film and you get to wait for it and you're so excited and the people around you just fuel that, it's a party for like 3 days. Me, it was ups and downs, of course. Adam says, talk to Kurt about some of the films probably he directed, like A Very Merry Muppets Christmas movie, which is bonkers and fun, and his work on dinosaurs and Star Trek 4. Yes. Well, one of the things that I think I mentioned to you was that Kurt Thatcher did the illustrations of all of our scripts, and I have pretty much the whole set of my scripts from dinosaurs, and now it's just a matter of figuring out how to move them forward and get them to somebody who would really appreciate them and sell them. But yeah, Kurt Thatcher was the illustrator on every single one, and it was just a blessing to be able to see. I looked forward every week to Kurt Thatcher's illustrations because he's really very, very talented in so many ways. Ironic fun fact: if I ever met John Milius, I would probably act like Walter Subchak, who was partially based on Milius. Does towards author Digby Sellers, all gushing over his writing career. Yeah, I think he would still enjoy that, even though he was struggling. I think when you share the heart, it always is a good thing. Yeah, Kurt Thatcher. We were standing talking Star Trek because, as you see, mentioned Star Trek 4, where he played that crazy punker. Um, and I told him, I just, Leonard Nimoy meant a lot to me because he was of mixed races, and being a little girl, so was I, and not a lot on TV about mixed race people. You got Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, which was very nice, and I watched that quite a bit. And then you also had, the one with, um, oh, I'll remember her name in a minute. Anyway, there it's just I really was touched by Spock because he was mixed races and the struggles that he went through. So Kurt Thatcher one day invited Leonard Nimoy to the set and went out of his way to introduce Leonard Nimoy to me. And I got to sit with Nimoy and chat with him one-on-one about his character and how much that character meant to me. Because you had heard, I am not Spock. You have heard, oh, that character is my stigma in some cases when I was growing up. And I kept thinking, but the character meant so much to me. So we sat and I said, I know that sometimes Spock is a little bit of a bone in contention with you, but for me, it was life changing for me because I got to see a character on camera that was struggling with many of the things that I was. I'm not, human and Vulcan, but I was half black and still am half black and half white. And there are struggles that you go through as a mixed person, especially when you look like I do. So light skinned is what I'm talking about. So it was great to sit and talk to him. And I have Kurt Thatcher to thank for that. Kurt Thatcher listened to what I had to say and then surprised me with Leonard Nimoy. And I remember I was blown away. And Leonard said, you want to, he said, I just thought you guys could talk for a couple minutes. And he said, this is a girl I was telling you about, Leonard, who said your character really helped her to cope when she was growing up. She's mixed too. And obviously he could tell that, right? So it was a great thing. And that's thank you to Kurt Thatcher. So he's just a lovely, generous man. Adam says, I'm perfectly excited for the Indiana Jones 5 foot. Try that again. I'm personally excited for Indiana Jones 5, but acknowledge that I'm a weird fan who loves legacy movies. Lindsay says it's going to be a dog. My husband thinks it's going to be a dog. It looks like a mess. So I can't wait to see which one of you is right. He's not happy. And he's like you, Adam. He loves legacy. He was really hoping this one was going to come back and be strong, but he doesn't think so. He thinks it's weak as a kitten and is not going to do well, which is a heartbreaker because he really wants it to. Also, while acknowledge that I'm not the biggest fan of the Conan movies, maybe I'm just not macho enough. You are so sweet because you're like, why don't I like this movie? I know for a fact that when I see it in full, I will love Red Dawn. I just have to tell you, Adam, that I'm a Schwarzenegger fan, and I specifically love classic Schwarzenegger from the back. I think the man has a beautiful back, and in Commando, I get to see him rowing from the back an awful lot, and I really love it. In Conan, he spins this thing, and you get to see his whole back, all the muscles work. It's like an anatomy lesson, and I really, really love it. And it's very funny about the original Conan the Barbarian because the Temple of Doom was made of stone. So there was no way the Temple of Doom was going to burn whatsoever. Where they built it, the people were artisans and they built the real stuff. They didn't build sets, they built buildings and monuments. So they talk a lot behind the scenes about Conan and how those monuments, I think, had to be torn down. I would have kept them up, and loved to have gone to the Temple of Doom and said, Doom. But I love the movies. I love that movie in particular is very special to me. Means a lot. And Uh, I if it's not your cup of tea, no reason to apologize. Some things just don't hit you. You know, I love this movie, watched it all the time, studied it, wanted to be Sandal Bergman's character in the back. Do you want to live? Do you want to live forever? Just really wanted to do that Valkyrie character and never got around to it. I bought the pieces, I started doing the patterning, but I never got around to finishing it up. I got a lot of work at that time. So, but dreamed of cosplaying her, as you all say now. It was a costume contest. Just dreamed of being her. Took sword lessons and everything. But loved it, loved it, loved it. I know all the behind the scenes, a lot of behind the scenes on this movie, Conan the Barbarian, because I just love the movie. And I'm a digger. I love to hear what happened at the behind the scenes. And so you not liking it, that's understandable. You don't have to apologize. You don't have to say it's because or find a reason for it. Just know you don't. Because I mean, I think it's really sweet that you're saying it the way you're saying it. But I don't like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I cannot stand this movie. I've tried to watch it half a dozen times to see if maybe it's my mind at the time of watching it. Because originally I didn't like Christmas Story, but now I love it. It's like 2 years after Christmas Story came out. I went crazy for it. So I thought, well, maybe this is the case with Ferris. I've given up. I just don't like the movie. I think the kid's a little jerk, and I don't like to follow jerks in movies. So it's there's my justification for it. And I won't apologize for it. If you guys love it, congratulations. I don't. So that's kisses to you, Adam. That's just kind of the way things are, aren't they? Yeah. Trailer for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was awesome. Did you see it, Terry? If so, what did you think? I looked at it and said, and my husband really didn't like it. So we got to wait for the film. Okay. Bottom line is we will see the film. We will be seeing the film. There is no way we're not going to because we like legacy films just like Adam. So sometimes the trailer can be way off base. So don't let the trailer tell you yes or no. Could surprise you. And I hope it does for all of you guys who love those kind of things. I love the Indy 5 trailer. It's the same one they showed at D23, but they hadn't released the title yet. Harrison Ford walked out in tears after they showed it. He was really proud of it and said he's never doing another one again, so you better like it, LOL. Yeah, he's done. He keeps saying he's finished, and then they keep offering him bigger and bigger buckets of loot, I guess. But I'd love to see it, and I hope he does well in it, and I hope it's fun. The thing is, let's say Indy 5 tanks. What will leap up is the original Indiana Jones film. Everyone will go back and revisit the Indiana Jones film. So it does good regardless of what happens, but we'll see what happens. Okay. And I wouldn't be surprised if Terry was one of the inspirations for the Leonard writing I Am Spock, which is a great book. Well, I don't know if I was or not. But what I'm saying is there you were with your opportunity to meet John Milius, and you decided not to because you thought he was just getting a lot of overload. And I think that was very good of you. But I do want to say that had you gone up and shared your heart, he probably would have been very, very grateful, really, regardless, you know? So your choice was a good one, but I think it's important to let actors know, but share from your heart, you know, just tell them what you feel. And I never expected to meet Leonard Nimoy. Honestly, I really didn't expect it. And Kurt Thatcher surprised me. And it was wonderful to meet him and get the chance, the opportunity. I'll never forget it. Never, ever forget it. Oh, Spock's was mixed race. Yes, I thought you said Leonard Nimoy was mixed race, but he wasn't. His parents were both Russian Jews. Yeah, the character he played. Yeah. Do you remember Whoopi Goldberg's statement, or maybe you don't, about Lieutenant Uhura? Mom, there's a black lady on TV and she ain't no maid, is what Whoopi Goldberg said when she first turned on Star Trek and saw Lieutenant Uhura. Same deal for me, different day. Okay. So it's not who she was, but what she was doing at the time. Yeah. Monumental characters, both of them. Star Trek, monumental milestones in its day. It broke some barriers. One of the other things you won't be surprised to hear that one of my favorite Star Trek episodes is the guys with the half black, half white getting ticked at each other because one's white on the left side, the other one's white on the right side, and they don't like each other because they're not the same. Okay. Brilliant story writing, incredible, uh, incredible thought provoking things happening at a time when there wasn't so much of that. So, like Whoopi Goldberg, which we chatted forever about the Star Trek and our impression as children, because we weren't seeing people like us on TV. That's just the way it was. So, yeah, Leonard Nimoy as Spock, playing the interracial character. You remember I said half human, half Vulcan, right? You remember I said that? Roll back and you'll see that I said that. I love Basil, or is it Basil? Basil Palandera's score for the movie and the production design. For which one? See, Adam, now you can see what frustrates Evan. Names, no. Faces, yes. The person who did the music for. Yeah. The person who wrote the theme for Star Wars. John Williams, I know that, but I know him better as the person who did the theme for Star Wars. Yeah, now he's so big, everybody knows that. But I mean, though, that's where when I first knew John Williams, the person. Well, he did a show called Checkmate too. I think I still have the album. But yeah, but go figure. Don't forget that Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren star in 1923, premiering this month on Paramount Plus. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. They did, all of a sudden, Yellowstone is creating the excitement for gruffy actors. Scruffy actors, raw, gritty, older actors. Yay! Go Yellowstone! Kevin Costner actually is amazing in this series. So now we got a bunch of other ones, and I hope they're just as gritty and fun and crotchety and scratchy, and I love it. Go actors over 40, over 50, over 60. Let's get more of them as I go into that window. I did have a similar moment where I met Steve from Blue's Clues, a preschool series I grew up with. Oh, Adam, Blue's Clues is so cute. And he was a lovely man, and I wish I had a full conversation with him. But he and I got annoyed by this lady who kept asking, who is he, over and over. So I lost my chance for a good interaction because someone else messed it up. Yeah, sometimes that can happen. And other times people don't recognize the people. So I was at a thing called Kamikaze Con. Have you heard about this con? It was Stan Lee's con for a while. And there was a Stan Lee cologne. I remember seeing that over on a table. And I was like, okay, weird. But there was Mike TV at the end of this long aisle. The kid was sitting there. And I was like, oh my God. And it said Mike TV. And I lost it. I came running down the Mike TV, Mike TV, Mike TV. You know me, I'm loud. So he just got the biggest grin because he was kind of looking at his cell phone bored because nobody was in line. And I started screaming, Mike TV, Mike TV, Mike TV. And all of a sudden there was a line behind me to meet him. It was like people didn't really, because people don't really read sometimes. But Mike was so touched and so grateful. And it was great to meet the one and only Mike TV. And it was the same with a couple of the lovely characters like Flick from, I was at a D23 when I met Flick from A Christmas Story. And he was one of my favorite characters along with the bully. So there's a new one that's out about Christmas Story. It's like the kids are grown up. It's not really that good. I'm going to just warn you, it's not so great, but what's fun is to see these characters as older people and see if you can recognize them. So it's worth it just to kind of go through it and see, if you're not someone who can get into the movie, which I was not, it just didn't have the same thrill for me. Made me want to see the original. There you go. What did I say? But you got to see the people older, and it was really cool. It was great to see um, of course, our lead characters. But then I knew the bully was going to be back, and the bully is a real looker. He's actually a very handsome guy. You can tell in the movie that he's a handsome kid. So I wanted to see him, and he does. He's aged very nicely, and in fact, a lot of people have. And it was great to see Flick in the movie. It must have been fun for them to come together and meet each other, even if the movie wasn't that great. It must have been fun. So, just give me a minute here. Block that taco chip. Thank you. Every once in a while, you get someone jumping in because they've got those hacking skills and they just try to ruin it for you, don't they? So bye-bye, loser. But anyway, so yeah, sometimes a person can mess it up, but boy, don't let that stop you. Just go and say hi and share your heart. And the movie I was referring to was Conan. Yeah, I love the soundtrack and I love Conan. I do. I love the movie. My husband and I always quote, to crush your enemies and to hear the lamentation of the women. And you can barely understand it because Arnold finally gets to use his own voice, which is also fun and entertaining. So there's just stuff in there you just love. You can't help it. Hugs to Arnold Schwarzenegger playing Conan the Barbarian, because there's so many Makos in it. It's just lovely. And what is it? Jerry West plays Subutai. In fact, my teacher was Yamazaki Sensei, who is the sensei that kicks as Conan is learning the art of swordsmanship. The student who laughs gets kicked in the crotch by the teacher. The teacher was my teacher in a technique called Iaido. And he was telling me that Jerry was so fast that they had to slow him down. He was so fast with his sword work that they had to, they had to slow it down so you could see him do the moves. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah. Dinner for Wolves. See, love this movie. Sorry, really love this movie. Really love this movie, and I'm excited about this guy. And boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I know it. See, didn't know the guy, but knew the music. Yep. Los Angeles Comic-Con is actually the renamed Kamikaze Expo. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that makes a little more sense to me. This year, they actually had a giant birthday card for Stan's 100th birthday, which I signed myself. Incidentally, I now call the con the Artist Alley, formerly known as Kamikaze Expo. I liked Kamikaze Con. When I first was invited, I had no business being there because it was very comic book centric, and I was Disney. And I'm not a comic book illustrator as of yet. I did one to help do it for this little boy with the amazing Chris. But at the time, I had a book and I had sculptures, and I think people didn't quite know what to do with me. But I had a lot of fun, and I enjoyed going and speaking to people, and I got to meet people like Mike TV. So lots worth it. And then also I talked with Cassandra Peterson, who had a huge line as Elvira, but the next day she came as Cassandra, and no one got in line. Isn't that something? So I did get to talk to her too. She and I and my husband know her because her son went to the same school that Lindsay's son did. So we would constantly meet her at basketball games and things and chat with her. So it was kind of nice. Not about Elvira, but just about stuff in general. Yeah. A Christmas. What do we got? Yes. Thank you for that. A Christmas Story. Christmas is more a homage to Darren McGavin, Old Man. And it's nice. It's just not, we don't have the same mom. The woman does a great job. She's so good. She's from What About Bob and a lot of other things. She does a great job. But it just doesn't have the same, I'm glad they did it, but it doesn't have, and you also you miss the guy who does the original voiceover. So I think there were a couple of things they could have done to just lock us into it, but they didn't have that ability. But it was great to see everybody back together again. And so I give them that. To see the house, they redid the house, just everything. Yeah, it was good to see it, just to see it. And that's what we did. I told my husband, I just want to do a walk through memory lane. And then, of course, I want to go and watch it. I always watch it on Christmas. I just leave it on the, TNT or the other channel. What is it? TBS, TNT, TBS, and they play it 24 hours. I just let it run. It's better than the Yule log. I just love A Christmas Story. Yeah, I'm a big fan. One of the best costumes I saw was someone did a wall of hands from Labyrinth. That's cool. How fun is that, huh? Yeah, Adam, clever, clever people in the world. Clever. I got to run. Everyone have a great week. Everyone with Joe, I have to say the same thing. Guys, you're always such a pleasure to sit and chat with. Always such a pleasure to talk the various things like Wakanda, which I really, really enjoyed. And there's going to be a ton of films we may talk about because film is my jam. Film is me more than music, more than anything else. I am a film person. I love 1950s. I love black and white. I love clever. I love wonderful. Grand Budapest Hotel, loved that movie. Actually went crazy for the little box with the pastry inside. So, guys, just got to tell you, this is probably going to be a little bit Disney centric, a little bit, yippee, the other. So, I love you. Be well. Let's see what we have here. While I openly am not a fan of A Christmas Story, I acknowledge how big of an impact on American culture, and it's earned its place in the pantheon of great Christmas movies. Adam, I think you need to be a bit older. Honestly, when I was your age, it wasn't my thing either. Just didn't get it. But when you get older, one day you're going to watch it and something's going to go in your head, and you're going to go, aha. And your heart is going to be like the Grinch. It's going to just go big, big, big for this movie. And you'll be like, what happened? All I can tell you is you probably just put a few years under your belt. So that's for you to see later. But it is amazing how I did not like it in the beginning. And then when I watched it, and there's certain things that really hit me home. Not that my house was ever like it. I never leaned on the floor and listened to the radio because we had TV, but and black and white TV. And then we were introduced to color. So so I did have that transition, but it all links. It all kind of clicks for you in a different way because the emotions and the behaviors are the same. It's just what they're doing may be different, but not different. So yeah, just give it a little bit of time, and I think you'll be loving it. Terry, love you. Can't wait to talk more movies with you around Oscar time. Hugs. Hugs to you. So, guys, mwah, mwah, mwah. Be well. Do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel a whole lot better. Thank you for joining me today. Have a lovely, lovely week. See, I wore my Christmas sweater. I'm hoping to get in the holiday spirit. I'm feeling it. Now I just got to do it. We'll see. Ups and downs for me. So just love to see you. Can't tell you how much this means that you joined me today. Hugs to you, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay? Be well, everybody. See you